No. 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 Fucking shit. What the fuck? This week we get an anticlimactic setup to what seems to be the penultimate arc. Undeserved additions to the writer cast. And of course, blood. Revice 35 continues where we last left off, with our heroes getting the crap beat out of them. Surely, this is the last episode, and the good guys clearly lose, and we get a bad end to the series. Nope, never mind. Convenient plot armor makes Veil cease to have a physical body, and although Akemi can just pop Daiji like a pimple, the director leaves things be, since everyone who's a part of Gifu can share in this glorious disparity. This leaves the siblings left to their emotions. As such, after some time to think on things and bandage Daiji up, we get genius levels of reasoning. Yeah, no, Daiji's still recklessly impulsive. He thinks defeating the director will also in turn save Akemi, even though she was changed by Gifu and not the director. Iki drops a nugget that apparently Daiji is usually the sound-minded individual in the bunch. Since when? Dude's bruised ego is the reason why he manifested his demon in the beginning of the show. If anything, he is the real egoist. Iki's pep talk gives Daiji the strength he needs to chill, while afterwards conversing with Vice about his demonly instincts trying to be awakened by Veil, only to shoot that shit down and come up with the most cliche response. Vice isn't a demon. Vice is Vice. Bro, he's still a demon. Like, you forgot he sent your mom to the hospital for like 7 episodes, even though your contract was to protect the family. Just saying. Back at Weekend Base, they can't accept the fate that Akaishi is laying out for them. They won't submit and will fight back. I mean, having Sakura do all the fighting for them. Hikaru already got the memo and decides to practice karate because he hasn't gone back to karate class since Sakura joined Weekend. So he's been rusty for a few months. It's here that it's made clear that this 110-pound looking kid has the greatest potential of them all. Oh yeah, Tamaki's here. He's got the drinks to quench the thirst he never brings. And along with his self-focused pep talk, gives Hikaru all the character development and growth he needed. Because of his convenient injury last episode, George knows he can't fight. But, you know, you've literally been working out, strengthening yourself as the biggest Kamen Rider fanboy, and fuck this. Fuck this. The pep talks for Daiji continue, as George instills in him the main reason why he thinks Daiji is coming up short. He's too good, as he's lost his balance with the death of Kagero. Akaishi juices up Veil with the Mammoth Vice stamp and is given the stipulation to not kill off the Igadashis, which you know is Veil's whole thing. But the leash has been put on and Veil only gets to torture. Not important, but like when Phoenix Base is flying by, it looks like someone cut out part of the sky into the ship as it cuts right through the building. Weird. The time for the major press conference is here, and whoever was responsible for setting up the decor forgot to place the cameras. While Iki and Sakura wait in the sidelines, Daiji's plan is to expose Akaishi during this presser. Speaking of the director, haters gonna hate as he makes his way on stage. Haters gonna hate, I laugh 'cause you fake. As he makes his declaration that Phoenix has decided that humanity should submit itself to Gifu, Daiji interrupts. All according to Keikaku. Akaishi saw right through Daiji's ill-conceived plan and one-ups him with his own, having a Kimitarian attack and force Daiji to fight in order to prove that even Kamen Riders are useless against Gifu. This is when we get our big, overdue debut of Gifu. Coming out in a floating Tetris block, he dusts all non-essential characters and fights exactly like I thought he would. It's hand-waving and CG attacks for this guy. Veil shows up to taunt Vice again, and we get to see the best form in Revice for 2 more seconds. Akaishi's plan meets its climax, with his overacting earning the awards he so deserves. Ikki goes right for Gifu, only for his CG attacks to do some serious damage to not just Ikki and the gang, but also some expensive looking CG jets. Phoenix's base as a whole sinks, along with all of George's CSMs. I can't help but have a "my fucking money" moment for George. As the light begins to fade, with the Doombringer of Gifu around, one glimmer of hope appears. Fuck this fucking show. Like, really? Really? You know, I'm out. You know, this is your review now, Turbo Ryuki. I'm out. Oh, great. Leave me with the worst part. So Hikaru transforms into a kit-bashed overdemons and comes in OP as fuck, taking down all the Giftarians and using his finisher to use grabby hands on everyone. Gathering at Weekend Base, Hikaru gets gassed up by his not dad, as Karisaki Sr. declares that weekend transition to weekday. The episode ends with Akaishi revealing that he's not going to be the one leading humanity down the Gifu path, but that it will be Daiji. So I have the honor of talking about the worst kept secret on the internet: overdemons. What's there to say about this that hasn't already been said? Zio. Fuck this form. They didn't even bother trying to recolor the portions of the Veil armor for this, because obviously they still have plans to reuse the suit, but it's a cop-out form nonetheless, and they could have at least changed the undersuit for demons as well to, you know, fit the aesthetic somewhat better. I really want to know who thought this was a good look. And look, the Kabuto Kawagata dynamic is a commonplace in Japanese media. Off the top of my head, you have Kabuto and Gatak, the Gao Raigers, you also have Rokusho and Metabi. So they really should have done something that stands as an actual opposite to Veil. Like, as opposed to it being on the right side, could have been on the left side. Huh? It's better than whatever the fuck you guys came up with. And if anything, Overdemon should have gone to Genta, but we were too busy having him not be in this show, and even though he is in the Weekend Base, and everyone is in Weekend Base, so he should have just... Never mind. I'm overthinking this. Completely overthinking this. Hate this form. It's disgusting. Rating time! This episode gets 4 Hikaru's, 1 nervous Akaishi, and 1 happy Akaishi. Or, in Zio's rating scale, it fucking sucks! So, F. Daiji's character arc is, I guess, trying to refocus on him getting Kagero back, as without him, he's essentially useless. Dude's entire personality might as well have been tied to Kagero. His arcs were becoming Kagero, overcoming Kagero, and now I guess getting Kagero back. The meat and potatoes of this episode really falls on Gifu finally making his presence known to the world. Though, this show seems so lacking in civilian presence that the whole thing just feels flat. Seeing just regular bystanders reacting to the news would have helped in the moment. Gifu himself does nothing for me as a villain. He's seemingly got no personality. He doesn't talk, he's just there. And as I figured, because of the way the suit actually works, this guy is as mobile as a Sentai mecha toy pre-Dawn Brothers. As such, he is restricted to CG attacks. Unless this is gonna end up being a Frieza situation and it's not even his final form. I guess, look, trying to be thinking in a little bit more of a speculative eye, I think Gifu might have ended up giving the Igarashis an unwelcome gift, maybe even a boost in power, as the same energy that undid their transformation also seems to course within Akaishi, giving him his new demonic look. That's why it's possible that Kagero could return from that moment and even be part of the reasoning giving us possibly the final Revice form. Who knows? And even with all that's going on, Daiji continues to cling to Phoenix, even knowing that the organization was never good to begin with. He's better off founding his own organization. Call it Curry. Then there is the whole gassed up Hikaru. Daiji's undeserving early onset upgrade was already an issue for me before, but Hikaru getting his power up is my biggest issue with this episode and this whole show as a whole, as it seems like undeserving characters are getting power ups or becoming writers, while the ones that definitely deserve it aren't getting jack shit. They get weapons. And the whole demons dynamic, it worked when Ortega made use of it, and it was great when George finally got his time to shine. But then they throw out that character development and dynamic for a character whose personality has just been known for stalking Sakura. He's essentially had zero personality interest with either Iki or Daiji, yet he's rewarded with this. I honestly hope that Hikaru gets the Hiromi treatment in an episode or two. I'm not feeling this. You know what? Honestly, next episode looks good. Like, we're finally getting a proper follow-up to where the show started to falter. So, what did you all think about this episode? Did it suck? Do you think that Hikaru deserved all this clout? Is Beyond Generation subbed yet? Oh, it is. Oh, well, you know what? I'm just ending this review. Bye.